time. Okay, well, welcome to Zobiba Publish TV. My name is Yvette Johnston, published author, publisher, and host. Zobiba Publish TV is in connection with Zobiba Global Publications, which is my publishing company. At Zobiba Publish TV, we speak about matters of publishing, which include, but not limited to, journaling, writing, editing, publishing, storytelling, and decision making, and more. So, this is As a Matter of Publishing, question and answer. I just had some episodes like that were done just before, and it's really crazy. It's crazy. The first one that I recorded, it was just a part of it, and I realized that's what's been going on. And then I had uh, an interference, an interfering person who wore a black shirt, which told you exactly who he was, wearing a black shirt and curly hair. I guess he was trying to look like Jesus. But anyway, um, it's just crazy. It's crazy. I guess they're wondering why is it that I'm up at this time at night or in the morning. But I got to do what I got to do when these people, these devils are out of the way. Okay, so a recap from last week. In our previous episode, that was last week, I spoke on the title Book Publishing Path and subtitle Things to Know About Publishing. I gave some definitions and spoke about the various types of publishing. I gave some advantages and disadvantages of the publishing pathways. I also gave a best approach method as a solution to the chosen path. I spoke about royalty payments and the book consignment programs. Okay, so that's it for last week episode's recap. Well, what am I talking about today? I have three questions that I would like to answer because these are three questions that were posed to me, and so I'd love to be able to answer them. So, question number one, how do you know if you would like to be a book publisher? So, how do you know if you would like to be a book publisher? Well, I don't know. Anyway, question number two, what are the criteria and or experiences necessary to become a publisher? Number three, what type of publisher would you desire to be? Like, what type of publisher would you desire to be? Okay, so to answer question number one, you will know that you would like to be a publisher if you are empathetic, if you love books, and you love seeing them in the bookstores, in the libraries, offices, and homes. Okay, so I say libraries, which includes schools and anywhere there's a library. So to sum this up, you want to help people who would never get the opportunity to publish because they are not considered the quote unquote elites, Hollywood stars. Oh my. A university professor or a pastor. The reason for using these types of people is because they are people who are perceived to have a large following. Usually they're perceived to have a large following. Let's leave that right there. Okay, so number two, to answer question Number two, the the experiences necessary to be a publisher would include, but not limited to, the fact that you must have obtained studies in any of these programs, right? So, college or university education in publishing or marketing, creative writing, business management, typesetting, and more. And then you want to have several years of experience publishing books or creating books, okay? Or creating books. And then number three, it is good to desire to be like certain publishers who were making good money or who are making good money, right? But on the other hand, you want to make sure that you are not coveting their works, right? So make sure you're not coveting their works. You must know if you want to be a non advanced based traditional publisher, a traditional publisher, or a self publisher, right? So it depends on which one you would like. Now, to give you an example of number one, I had a professor saying to me, I don't know how you become a publisher. Number one, you're a female. Uh oh. Oh. Number two, you're black. He did say you're black, right? Which basically he's saying you're a minority. Okay. Well, I don't want to go into adverse tones, so I'll keep it simple. I'm just a little bit cold, my fingers. But if you're going to say that because someone is a female, right? Who? And a female is not required to be an established person in life, which includes being a published author. Then I think that something is definitely wrong with the person. I think they're infused with a little bit of, devilish stuff. I think that's what it is. They've been infused with a little bit of the devilish injection. They got the devil needles. So they don't think straight. Why would you think that someone as a female is not entitled to be whoever the person wants to be? I think this is the thing that gets to me at this point in time because I don't like when people tell people that because you're from this background or that background, you can't do certain things. I didn't know that people were created to be certain things based on their background or based on their culture or based on their beliefs, right? So, yeah, I was asked the question, who gave you permission to be an author? You're a black woman. Oh, first thing, you're a woman and you're black. And you don't have a PhD. So that's why I included professors because, professors in universities, they have PhDs or they're working on their PhDs. But it's amazing when people can look at you and just decide that you are not entitled to be certain things because, excuse me, or because they didn't give you an entitlement. And you know what? It's funny because if they were the ones to give you an entitlement, it means you would never have one. So thank God that they are not the ones who are entitled to do anything. Okay, I know promotion comes from who? Not them. Good. And then someone is assigned to bring forth the promotion, but it really didn't come from them, and they don't even know that. So it's amazing when you hear people say certain things, it's like, who promoted you? And how how did you become a published author? So I know that there are people who have issues with who people are when they were not in the order of creating. And if they were not in the order of creating, I didn't say creation, I said creating. If they were not in the order of creating, they have no right to tell people who they can be and who they can't be. Oh boy. Well, I don't think this is going as good as I expected as the first one went, because I think I get a little bit upset with what's going on, right? Because somebody was hiding in an office trying to see how, I guess, to see where they could attack. The devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy. But guess what? Since he didn't give life, he didn't come to give life more abundantly. All right, I leave that there. And I wipe off my upset face and I put it out behind me. So, to be a published author, to be a publisher, I personally wanted to be a publisher when I realized that these people, these publishers, and these agents, especially the agents, they're they're stuck and stupid. Number one, the agents and the publishers. I don't know what they're stuck on, because they want to know what your following is like. How many people do you have on social media? How many people do you have on YouTube? How many people are following you on Facebook? And they don't want to do the work. So they want to make the work easy. They don't want to go out and look for the clients. What they want is to take your clients and then do that to them. Well, now I'm yawning and everything because I'm overdue. I haven't slept. Now, having several years of experience, I find that, working in a publishing office at a university, that did help me. That helped. Even though I published my books before, 2 books, but that did help, because then you get to see different ways of, people doing things. Now, I believe that some of us we would never have gotten the chance in life to do certain things, because it's amazing how people can be so covetous and, and jealous, even when they might be the one who introduced you to the position. They could still turn around and covet you. That's a dangerous thing. It is a dangerous thing. So it is good to actually desire to be like someone who's doing well, like a publisher who's doing well. I remember going into a publisher's office, and I wanted to see how some of the machines were operated and stuff, how they were operating. And he took me back there for me to see, like, in the area where all the work is done to get the books completed. And they were basically, I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes, let me not say it, because I might say something that is not really appropriate at this point, just because I'm trying to wipe off my upset face. But you can't just look at the money that they're making, because the thing is, people are making money these days, and it's not even a fair way. Let me just leave that right there as well. Okay. But, sometimes you know, you might say, okay, well, I want to be a non-advance based traditional publisher. So I don't really want to give them an advance, give the author an advance. And then there are times when you would think, okay, well, maybe I've earned enough money now in the business and I can transform it to a traditional publishing company, right? Which means that people get their royalty payment. So you can basically choose, whichever way you want to go. If you want to do self-publishing just means you get to see the process a little bit closer. You get a more hands-on frame, which is a good thing because, just publishing the books when I did when I did publishing and editing, it's it helped. It helped. Even though I published my book before, it helped because we had to go into InDesign in order to be able to create the internal parts of the book and then the book covers and all that kind of stuff. The only thing is when that happens, you don't get to do everything on the book because there's different people working on different sections. But when you get to do it yourself, it's a different thing, right? I believe that we should all, having the opportunity, all help somebody else to get to the point that we're at, or even close. Some people don't like it because they figure people might take away their ideas and take away from them. All right. So anyway, this is not as interesting as I expected it because I'm just so upset because it's funny. People can just get into stuff and they don't have any reason to. So those were the three questions that I was asked, and I wanted to answer them so that at least you get a better answer. Sleep is in my eyes at this point in time, so my eyes can't stay open. So I'm going to ask you if any part of this episode or this broadcast relate to you, please like, subscribe, share, comment, and check the description box for any information that you would require. Okay? I think I'm going to end it right here because my eyes are rolling over. And I know that we're publishing your way, and we're just going to look up and keep moving. All right? We're publishing your way. We'll see you next time. My eyes are closing, like I said, so I gotta stop before I say something that I'm not supposed to say. All right, so I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.